John Sanford is one of my absolute top favorite writers. He's got two series that I like particularly. The first one is the Lucas Davenport books. And you know what they are because they all have the word prey, P-R-E-Y, in their title. But he's got a second series, not quite as big as the Lucas Davenport series, and that's all based around a guy named Virgil Flowers. And this book, Stormfront, is actually number 7 in the Virgil Flowers series. And I'm going to say right at the outset, it's not the best one in the series, but it is really, really quite good. Now, let me say a word about Virgil Flowers first off. If you're not at all familiar with him, those of you who are, you can turn this thing off, I think. I hope you don't, but you can. Virgil Flowers is a cop in the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, the same as Lucas Davenport is, but he's a much different guy. His background is this. He was the son of a minister. He went to college. He got a degree in environmental science. He was in the Army. He was in the MPs, and that was where he discovered that he really enjoyed being a cop. He's a big-time outdoorsman. He loves to fish. He likes to write. He writes articles for, hunting and fishing magazines, things like that. He's interesting in all those regards. But the thing that's great about him is he's a really laid-back kind of guy. He comes across as kind of a surfer dude. He's very funny. He's got what appears on the surface to be a very, very relaxed approach to investigations, but there's a lot going on underneath. He's totally relentless. He's thinking all the time, absolutely sharp as a tack, and he is funny. And just like with all the John Sanford books, every one of them, you get interesting, real-life dialogue, funny things being said, funny things happening, but they're dead serious murder mysteries. Now, this one isn't quite a murder mystery. What it is, the basic plot of this thing, is that there's a professor at a small Minnesota university who's a professor, I guess, of archaeology, and he's on a dig in Israel someplace, and he steals an artifact that was discovered under the sand, smuggles it back to the United States, and is trying to auction it off to a bunch of bidders. Now, the fact that he's running an auction introduces a lot of very interesting characters. There's a couple of Turks who want to buy this thing. There's some Hezbollah agents that are involved in it. Some Israeli, one Israeli Mossad agent, and one character from an Israeli I guess, archaeology department in the government, and a bunch of other interesting characters. Now, there's the whole purpose of the book, the whole purpose of the plot, is for Virgil Flowers to recover this artifact and return it to Israel. And it gets super, super complicated. I mean, you can follow it, but it's a tough investigation. Largely complicated by these foreign people who were involved in the thing. There's a subplot involving a woman named Ma Nobles, which is a great subplot. She was the target of the investigation that Virgil Flowers was working on before he got involved with this artifact. And she was selling, salvaged lumber, and it was somehow or other criminal, fraudulent, and Virgil Flowers was working on that. Anyway, those two plots are kind of intertwined, and it becomes very, very interesting as you go. And, just like with all John Sanford books, the prose is, I would say, compulsively readable, absolutely compulsively readable. It's funny in a lot of places, but these are dead serious police investigations. This book, Stormfront, like I say, it is not the best. it's got a super interesting plot. It's not the best in the Virgil Flower series, but it's way up there. I found it completely, totally enjoyable. I thoroughly recommend it. There it is. That's my view. John Sanford, you absolutely cannot go wrong when you read one of these books. I recommend it, and I'll see you next week.